Using cell references correctly can make or break a spreadsheet. We'll look over the different types of cell references and understand how to use them. We've already been introduced to cell references when writing basic formulas. A cell reference is essentially the cell address. We can reference an individual cell or a cell range when writing formulas or functions. Cell references show Excel where exactly to get values from when calculating formulas or functions. The main advantage of using cell references is that we don't need to rewrite or edit formulas because the values will auto-update if any changes are made to referenced cells. There are three types of cell references: relative, absolute, and mixed. When copied or filled in other cells on a worksheet, all three types of cell references act differently. By default, all cell references in Excel are what we call relative references. When copied to other cells, relative references change based on the relative position of rows and columns. Let's have a look at some examples by entering a formula into cells on a blank worksheet and copying it somewhere else. Let's type the formula equals A10 plus A11 in a cell. Now before we move on, let's activate Formula View so it's easier for us to see exactly how cell references work. Remember, the shortcut to switch a worksheet to Formula View is to hold down the Control and Grave accent keys. Now if we copy and paste our formula cell one cell to the right, the formula will automatically change to B10 plus B11. This is because a one cell shift to the right indicates a one column shift to the right, while the row remains unchanged. This explains why all the A's have been changed to B's, but the row numbers remain the same. Now, had we copied this formula cell and pasted it in the same column, but 2 rows down, can you guess what the formula will update to? Since the new cell is in the same column, the column references remain the same. But each of the row references will increase by 2 since the position of the new cell is 2 rows down relative to the original cell. The formula will therefore be A12 plus A13. Let's copy our original formula cell once again, but this time let's paste it in this cell right here. Now, before we paste it, think about what the position of our new cell is relative to the original cell. How do we get here? If we start at our original cell, we have to move 3 columns to the right and then 2 rows up. So this means that our column references should also move 3 columns to the right, so our A's become D's. And now our row references will move 2 rows up, so row 10 will become row 8 and row 11 will become row 9. This leaves us with the formula D8 plus D9. Now let's copy and paste to check that we're correct. And we are! Great! I hope you're following so far. Now relative references are very useful when we want to repeat the same calculation across multiple rows or columns. We actually encountered them already in our customer order receipt when learning about basic formulas. If you remember, in this column, we found the total amount spent on each dish by multiplying the quantity by the price per portion. And we entered the formula C9 times D9 to reflect this. Now these are relative cell references because when we copied this formula cell to the other cells in this column, the cell references automatically updated to take the corresponding row values needed to calculate the correct amount for each item ordered without us having to rewrite the formula.